Hey budget gardeners, Vita Loca here. Guess what? It is time to reclaim another weedy section of my flower beds. Look how big this weed is. It has to go. I don't even know what it is. Um, so join me today and let's get weeding, shall we? So it is near the end of July and I still have not tackled this bed. I've been busy with other projects and you know how it goes. We just don't make enough time sometimes for weeding. But this week it's in the high 80s, low 90s. It's super hot for here in New Hampshire. And you can see this area in the afternoon is very shady. It's the perfect project for me to be working on. I have 1 hour to dedicate to this. Today is my son's 20th birthday. I need to go get dinner for him, but I figured I'm going to give myself a window of time to weed with you. And sometimes we need to do that. Either set a goal of like from one section to another section of your yard where you're going to weed, or set a goal of a window of time. That's what I did earlier this morning when I was watering a lot of my plants. I had a small window of time. I wondered what could I do with that window of time outside of my yard, and I watered and fertilized a bunch of my plants. So since we have 1 hour together, we're going to see how far we can get with weeding this bed. If you'll remember, a little while ago, together we weeded this bed over here. And then we weeded from this tree here to that tree there. And now we're going to keep working this way. Amongst the weeds, there are a bunch of beautiful things in this bed. We have some sedum over here. We have a tall phlox that's budded up. That's right over here. We have echinacea, or purple coneflower, that's right there. Over here, we have balloon flower. Over here, we have some more sedum. And over there is heliopsis, or false sunflower. There's just a bunch of beautiful plants in here. So we just need to make room for these plants and just keep weeding. In 2018, when my mother-in-law passed away, my husband wanted me to get a bunch of perennials from her yard and make room for them in our yard. I really didn't have anywhere to put them, so I ended up making this flower bed here. And basically, towards the front, there are asters and daffodils, and then right behind them are a huge row of daylilies. And right behind the daylilies, there are a bunch of peonies. So what we just need to do is start cleaning up some of this space here. And what my goal is once we've tackled and cleaned up a bunch of this space here, that gives me opportunity for this fall to start moving plants around, start dividing plants. Some of these daylilies are really beautiful. I'd love to have them in other parts of my yard. This area tends to be fairly shady, so I have other areas that are a little sunnier, and I'd definitely like to divide and move some of these plants. So let's get weeding. It is 3:40. I have 1 hour to tackle as much as I can with this bed. The first thing I'm going to do is work towards the front. I have some oxeye Shasta daisy here. It's very leggy because it's pretty shady here. So I am going to first cut it back. And after I cut it back, I'm going to dig it out. And then I can pot it up and move it to somewhere else in my garden or put it in my holding bed. Here's another oxeye daisy. I'm going to do the same thing. When I walked around my yard and had some coffee the other morning, I looked at this area and it definitely felt very overwhelming to me. And I realized during the last garden tour that I was a little embarrassed by this area. And I strategically only showed video of the daylilies that are blooming. I zoomed into them, but I didn't show this bed. And the reason is it just needs so much work. And I thought, I think it's a good idea for me to film this with you, and perhaps it might motivate you to also get back out in your garden. we don't want to give up. We still have at least a couple of months here of good weather for gardening before it starts turning cold. So I don't want to just feel like winter is upon us, because it's not. And what's also motivating me is if I can free these plants, not only will this area look good, but I can also then access the plants and be able to divide them, move them around, do whatever I want to do with them. But if I can't access them, then nothing's going to happen here. The only thing that's going to happen is all these weeds are going to go to seed, and we definitely don't want that. I have two choices right now. I can either keep on weeding down here towards the front, or I can keep weeding this way. I think I would feel more satisfied if I keep weeding this way, and that way it's kind of like from this section here to this section here, straight out that way. And if that's all I get done today in this 1 hour window, I am very happy with that. But it's pretty buggy. The mosquitoes are thick. So wish me luck. One hour is up, and I'm very pleased with the progress I made in this short amount of time. The big thing is it motivated me. It jump-started me to keep working on this bed. And I think that's what I needed, was just some motivation. And thank you. You motivated me, because getting out here and sharing this with you inspired me to keep on working. So you can see I weeded up along here, and right here towards the front are fall aster. And between the fall aster and the daylilies, I didn't get right into there and get every single small weed. I wanted to feel a level of success today, and I knew I had a short window of time. So I only went after the biggest weeds when it came to weeding inside of this area right here. And I did leave the few perennials that I want to dig out over here, the oxeye daisy, and it looks like maybe there's a coneflower. We just can't give up those free perennials, can we? Let me show you the inside of the bed. From the camera perspective, you can't tell how deep it is, but I started from where this tree is down that way. Trust me when I say it took me probably 30 minutes to do the front and 30 minutes to do the inside. Actually, it might have taken me longer to do the inside. But I did a pretty good job in this pathway. And I get right down there. I like to pull out as much of the weeds as I can get. I don't want to come back and have to weed this again very heavily. I don't mind small weeds, but I want to do a very thorough job and get as many weeds as I can in here. So I am pleased with what I got accomplished in the 1 hour window. And then there are, behind the peonies, there's one row there and probably a second row of weeding to be done. There's basically a row of perennials right here. So there's a row on either side there of weeding that I still need to do. But for 1 hour, good enough. I just wanted to make this short, inspirational video to let you know it is okay if things are kind of out of control right now. It's the middle of summer, but don't give up. Get out there. Keep weeding. You don't want these weeds to go to seed. You still want to enjoy your flower beds. The fall is a great time to divide and move perennials. You want to be able to get in here and access those perennials. So keep on weeding, keep on working in your gardens. I'm going to keep on working that way, but for right now, I have a date with Buffalo Wild Wings to get my boy some wings for his 20th birthday. I hope you're enjoying your gardens, and until the next video, make it a great day with gardening.